Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending where in the world you are, and of course, what time of day or night it is either. Welcome to the podcast Up on the Edge with Al and Owen. I'm your host, Alan Nield, Big Al, or just Al, whatever you want to call me. And each week, I'm going to be joined by regular co-host Owen Sherratt and other special guests along the way too. Right, let's get right into it. This is the podcast Up on the Edge. We got a bit of a star attraction today.
I tell you what, I hope so, Al, because to be honest with you, I mean, we had a bit of Coronation Street. He's all right, but it wasn't fantastic, was it? But we've got to get him back on again because he texted me just afterwards to say, there's stuff I wanted to tell you, but I didn't know.
You've been drinking, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had a beer today.
Why have you had a beer?
Because the Mighty Blues have been playing. I know we're singing it up till Monday. Then we'll be sick of it, you know, City's win and all that. Yeah, we won. And you know what makes it worse, Alan? If we got beat, I'd have been worse.
How many have you had? 4.
Well, my hands are full. Maybe 5 or 6. I don't know.
I'm actually gutted that I've not had one with you. But anyway, it is what it is, mate. You know?
Al, the rugby was on earlier as well.
Let's not talk about the rugby. I'm pissed off about that.
I never watched it. I just know it was on earlier.
Not even put my rugby top on today.
I know you haven't. That's the first
no.
one. What top have you got on today? Let me.
I've always got hoodies on, haven't I? So I've got an hoodie on. But it's a bass guitar one.
It's a bass guitar, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. So oh, hang on, I'm getting text messages here. What's this here? All right, no, that's for a different thing altogether. Let's not talk about that. So, how's your week been? How's everything been for you?
You know, I've been full of a cold for a week.
Have you?
I've been dying now, absolutely dying.
Have you had your jab yet?
Yeah, I had my first one. I had my first one a few weeks ago.
Right.
Excuse me. I think we've been talking about it, and I had my first one, and it was all right. Everyone's going, oh, it's this, it's that. And I go, well, I'm all right. And then a friend of mine had the jab, and she was really poorly after it. The doctor said, well, I was all right after the first one. The second one, I was really bad. So I'm thinking, because I don't know, maybe I'm one of them people that, because they reckon that the worse you are after your first jab, the better you'll be in fighting the infection should you get it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because obviously,
I get that.
when you're there, you think you're bad for a couple of days. But now you've had it. You've had the disease.
I've had
right?
it.
Yeah, the virus, the infection. You've had it all, haven't you? And the thing is, Al, you know what it's really like. So these people are crying because they've had 4 or 5 days, maybe 10 days maximum. Of being really ill.
Well, they've not had that. They've not had 10 days, mate. They're nothing like that. The most that I've heard, I've had one of my guys has been off for, how long was he off for? 3 days, 4 days? That's it.
Do you know what? When I were a lad, all joking apart, right? If somebody said to me, right, I'm going to give you an injection, right, and this injection is going to make you ill for 14 days.
Yeah.
But after that, you're all right.
Yeah.
We'll give you another one to top it up. Might feel a bit ropey after that. Yeah. You'll be fine. But if you don't give you it and you get the disease it protects you from and it's going to kill you, what's the option?
What's the option?
I'll take the 14 days.
And how many times did you go to the doctors when you were a kid, right? And the doctor had said, oh, don't be so soft. You've just got yourself a little bit of a virus. That's it.
The worst thing for me once, I had blisters on my ears.
Right.
I used to go back every year with these blisters.
Yeah.
So as a teenager, I went back and the right-hand side of my face was really bad. And he went, look, Brian, because that's my real name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And never come out, he said, you got herpes. I'm thinking, there's nobody rubbed their crotch on my head. Not that age, and I've not met Jimmy Savile.
Listen, look who's here now. But Marty's here. Right?
Marty Jones,
Marty Jones, the legend.
Easy.
But he's not turned his video on his
they'll do it.
Camera.
They'll do it. You know what it looks like? Tony, I'd love that picture.
Would you? Marty, turn your video on. I'm just
Tony Adler. He's doing it. He's going.
Like it, money.
Yeah, so true. Funny how we feel.
How do you do that?
Hey, it be somewhere on the pictures, mate. It's got
if you
video,
click on your
start
picture,
video.
it says just start video. That's it. That's all you've got to do.
You haven't got a start video, you pillock.
I'm not arguing.
Hang on a minute.
I've got. Here we go. Start video.
There you go.
Hey!
Hang on.
Hey!
I can't see you.
Why can't you see us? You don't need to see us anyway. We just need to see you. We just need to look.
I
at
want
your
to see
pretty
your ugly
mug.
face.
Ah,
You're right, yeah. I'm on every time, Marty. I want to see his face because I try to know what he's saying.
And I also want to see some of his reactions, especially when you say, I've rubbed my crutch in a few people's heads over the years.
I know, and I've got to admit, right, what involved you? What invoked you in life to say, I tell you what, I'm going to go out in a leotard or a pair of trunks and rub my crotch on people's heads while I'm holding them down so they can't breathe. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some people call it fetish, other people call it wrestling.
Listen, let's get your face on here.
Marty, turn your camera side on, 90 degrees. That's the first one, right?
Yeah.
Now, does that actually show any more things on your phone?
All it says is safe driving mode. Your microphone, your video has stopped. Hang on.
Has he got? He's not got a sat nav, has he?
Yeah. You've turned your audio off now, mate.
You know what? This will make a great podcast anyway. How do you get people to work your video?
Let me hang on. Let's click that.
See if you do it. Yeah. He's chatting away there. You know what? This is some great stuff here. I'm going to see it.
And he's got more stories about me than anybody in Shores, this lad. Right, talk to me now. I think you should hear us now.
I can hear you all the time, but I can't see your ugly head.
How can you not see?
Right, it's about the mode for the picture thing. I'm sure of it. It's where
it's got Owen is speaking, done speaking, microphone is unmuted. Your video screen is stopped.
There should be a button that says share screen.
All it's got in here is safe driving mode, and then in red letters leave, then in blue letters your microphone is unmuted, your video has stopped, done speaking, and then when you speak, like now it's saying Marty Jones is speaking, but when you speak, your name comes on, but no pictures.
I don't know.
Alan Neil is speaking.
Yeah, well, I was just erming then, if I'm being brutally honest.
He's always talking, Alan. You always like Marty.
Oh, bollocks. Right.
So then, while we're feeding up Marty, I've got to admit, I was talking to a mate, Sue, today.
Don't tell him. No. Don't tell him yet. I've got to get him so he can see us first because he needs to see our reactions.
Oh, right. He's got to see your reaction.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, he's
talking to a female or a male?
Don't go there. Do not. Let's get him sorted out first. Can you get through this without seeing our faces or not?
Not really, because I want to fucking rip you to shreds. Easy. Sorry, I just couldn't.
Hey, he's one of 3 people that's ever dropped me to my knees. I'll give him that.
The other 2 are women, I'll tell you.
Oh, and that's when he started rubbing his crutch in me.
I can imagine. Hey, well, that's Alan, his past life. We'll leave that alone.
I'm going to turn this off and turn it back on again, see if it works.
Beautiful.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you see us?
Yeah, I am now, yeah.
Hiya, Marty.
All your technology. And you've got me.
Hey, I tell you what, it all matters. This is how the world's got on during lockdown.
Right, listen, before we go any further, I just want to say I apologise for that because he's pissed up because City's been playing today and for once.
No, I'm not pissed up. I've had a few drinks. I'm a little bit merry, but I'm not pissed up, Al.
Well,
he is.
Trust me.
You're out of order. I'm going to report you.
Well, why not? Why not?
Lockdown.
And I tell you what, I won't report you once for that foul language you give up when you couldn't figure out how to.
Look at his drinking as well.
I'm going to tap on the floor, get Sue to bring me some more up. And by the way, I'll tell you now, Marty, One of Sue's neighbours was Fit Finlay.
What about him?
He's one of Sue's neighbours.
So the girl that he lives with is Mrs.
I don't live with her. I work with her.
No,
I live with my mum.
All right.
I met Sue's, who I work with, business partner, and she said, "Come round, watch some football." I went, "Yeah, no problem." I agreed. And Alfonso goes, "Owen, we're going to speak to Marty Jones, wrestler, tonight on the podcast." I went, "I'll be pissed by then." No, you'll be all right. Come on.
Who did you say she was?
She's one of his neighbours. She went to school with his son, who apparently his son was the only kid in school or the only boy in school with a ponytail.
Fit Finlay.
Fit Finlay.
But he didn't live over here.
Lived in Levenshulme.
He didn't.
I'm not going to argue with you. He lived on Kringle Road.
There's one thing about me, right?
Yeah.
You call me a liar, you can do what you want, but I can prove things when I say stuff. Fit Finlay was Irish. He lived in Ireland.
He lived in County. He stayed when he was over there. No, I'm not saying he's not Irish, but when he was over there, he had to have a house on Kringle Road, apparently.
No, he didn't.
In Levenshulme.
It was his sister.
Oh, was it his sister? Right. Well, either way.
Right. And from his first missus, he had a son who was called Buchanan, Blue Buchanan.
Something like that, yeah. It'd be about...
She actually got in touch with me about 12 months back because Finlay now lives in Atlanta.
Georgia?
Yeah, because a lot in the early 80s, mid 80s, a lot of wrestlers from the UK went over to America, didn't they? Yeah. To fight. I think you did yourself, didn't you?
A few times, right?
Yeah.
But no, he went when he signed up for WWE as a talent coach. That's what he does now.
Right.
He's done very, very well for himself.
Wow.
Right, away we go. Let's go.
Hey, anyway.
So joining us tonight on the podcast
is the legend.
Is Marty Jones, who, if you remember back to the days when sport was sport and it was televised on a Saturday, where they had real men wrestling real men with sweat, not Brute 33 and all this, but proper. They're there in leotards and throwing each other around, and this is what it's all about. And this guy is a legend. And how many times did you appear at Bellevue, which is just round the corner from when I grew up?
Well, Bellevue was a local hall, wasn't it, for us then? It was an iconic venue.
Of course it was.
You know, and they had wrestling there every Saturday. So I was there quite a few times, like I was at the Queen Elizabeth Hall and places like that. But you've got to remember, when you was a full-time professional, you've mentioned Finlay and Rocco and myself and people. In the heyday, when it was on television on a Saturday, you could wrestle actually 10 times a week.
Yeah, of course.
It was that popular. And everybody got the coupon out, didn't they, at 4 o'clock, watch the wrestling. And it was an institution. It was what the nation did. It was a cheap form of entertainment in them days. And it's took a bit of a lull when they took it off, but it's come back on again now. I'm involved with that NXT UK brand, which is more World of Sport style, where there's a bit of showmanship in it, but they do get stuck into each other, trying to make conflicting two people have a fight, and it's actually took off again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So why wrestling? Why was it not boxing or football or rugby? Why wrestling?
When ITV approached the promoters, it used to be called joint promotions, and there were 6 promoters all up and down the country.
Yeah.
And not like it is now. And you know, with all your technology, that you can't get right there in the studios. But when we wrestled, there was just 2 cameras.
Yeah.
Right.
None of these boom mics and hard cams and all this. In fact, the wrestling now is actually filmed in the BT studios.
Right.
In London. And it goes live to America and places like that. Technology, as you know, now is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, yeah.
But in our day, it'd just be, let's say the Queen Elizabeth Hall, we've got wrestling on. And wrestling would be on. and then they'd say, right, we're going to come and film it. So the promoter would put World of Sport Wrestling, cameras are here. That was bigger than any name, that, because everybody in Oldham used to flood into Queen Elizabeth Hall thinking they're going to get on telly. Because it was live, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what they used to do is film 6 matches, 3 for 1 week, for one Saturday, and 3 for the following Saturday. And that's what they used to do. And I forget what it was. It was a lot of money in them days. The TV company used to pay like $6,000, which is peanuts, as you know, these days. But all them years ago, then the promoter would run the show as a normal show, but they'd get a bonus of $6,000. And then ITV, say, would sell them videos for all over the world and make the money. And all they did is split it between them, the promoters. But the good thing for us, and don't take this personally, in your world that you do, when you're like Big Al and, you know, and yourself doing the radio, possibly outside of Manchester or past Birmingham, possibly nobody'd know you.
Yeah. Still contract
the thing
for
with
me,
us, the thing is, with us, it was our shop window.
Yeah.
They saw me on with Finlay knocking 6 pounds of shit out of each other. They'd go, hey, do you remember that fight that Jones and Finlay had? Said, oh, it's on round the corner. Should we go and watch it?
Yeah.
So it was our shop window, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
but there's always been characters. There's always been this, that, and the other. But it's actually, but I've just opened another gym, and I got it bad with this pandemic thing with all the rules. But the way we're looking at it, when it starts again, I think wrestling's going to go straight through the roof. Because a lot of people haven't got a lot of money.
No.
But wrestling, it's a £5 a ticket.
Yeah. And it's
20 quid to take 20 quid to take your family. Or at bigger shows, 50 quid for your family.
Yeah.
Then your mega shows, I know already. WrestleMania, worldwide, I think it's 75,000. Would you go to a show, let's say a gig, music, or a festival, let's say Glastonbury? The name that Glastonbury's got, if you could get hold of a ticket, you'd just go anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course you would.
Absolutely, yeah. Regardless of who was on.
And
WrestleMania already is nearly sold out, and they don't know who the top of the bill is yet.
That's the thing. But you see, the thing is with wrestling, and
but
sorry
you know
to
the
interrupt
VIP
you,
tickets.
Yeah.
VIP tickets, where they have other shows that week as well at little places.
Mm.
They're $2,500 a ticket.
What?
And they're the first to go.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And to be fair, though, because obviously, Marty, I've seen some wrestling at Bellevue when I was a kid, and one of the funniest things I've seen was an old day with a handbag. It's because you used to throw each other over the ropes and what I mean. And don't get me wrong, I don't for 1 minute think it was all brutal and we ate each other. There's got to be some play acting. And when the baddie went over the ropes, the old days would jump on and give him that good idea with, yeah, he ate you.
Right, but who threw him over the rope?
Yeah, it's always the good guy, yourself.
Exactly, but the thing is, get that crowd involved. But it can be. I can tell you stories in that business very, very quickly. There's a place called Adwick the Street.
Yeah.
It's near Doncaster.
Yeah.
And a lot of the women, I'm not being disrespectful, pikeys, gypsies, whatever, and they always book the front row.
Yeah.
Really?
Because they wanted, the fellas could go to the pub, the women used to go, shout, scream, let off a bit of steam.
Yeah.
This particular time, there's a wrestler called Mucky Malkirk. He used to play for Featherstone. Big lad, big neck, big bald head, a bit like yours, Al. And next thing is, he was an ugly bastard as well. Anyway, Andy was 25 stone. Anyway.
Hey, yo!
He was shouting at this bird. He was like Queen Bee.
Yeah.
Threatening all this, that, and the other. And the next thing is Malkirk's gone out of the ring, but he's facing inwards. And she went behind him and pulled his legs off the apron.
Oh,
And as Mal went down, he banged his chin.
Yeah.
Well, you can't crack him, but he was that far. He threatened her.
yeah.
As he turned round, this woman got a pair of scissors and cut his leotard. His leotard fell to the floor. But she could have quite easily have done that.
Yeah, or stabbed
Yeah.
him, or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
But what I'm trying to say afterwards, she went to the bar and bought him a drink and all that. We got all stag do's, we got everything. But don't forget, there's people that can wrestle. There's people like your job. They can do the job, and they probably can't speak.
Yeah.
I know, right? 'Cause I've been in the studio up there, and I know there's a lot of programs that's already been pre-recorded. Then people outside, they think that you're doing it.
Yeah.
He
Well,
has to
nowadays,
do that all the time because he's shit live.
But in our game, I could go in the ring and wrestle somebody I've never even seen before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's just not being big-headed. That's what I was good at. I was good at making the other guy look good and making myself look good. But I was very fortunate because I went all over the world doing the wrestling.
Do you know when you were a kid, when you were growing up, were you a scrapper? Were you a fighter?
Right. Not many people know this, and I don't think you'll know it, but I'm going to tell you. As you know, I wear glasses.
Yeah.
Well, in my left eye, I'm blind.
Yeah.
No.
I'm 10% vision. I can see black and white and colours, that's all.
Yeah.
So when I was at school, I went to Fails with Senior Boys. And I had an accident. You know when you build a wall and you put the bricks on top of a brick?
Yeah.
You have like a dicky bowl made out of metal. It's called a tyre wire.
Tyre wire,
on top. Well, when my back alley, I was only 6. I was on my tricycle and the rain had washed a bit of an alley about.
I know what you're going to say. Don't say this. This is good. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Mum was the same with hers, yeah.
The wire went in my eye.
Yeah.
And it cut the sinew in my eye.
Oh.
So I went to the hospital. I've had about 12 operations when I was a kid. Couldn't save the eye. And that's the way it's been ever since. But when I went to school, I used to have the glasses on with the patch and the little hole in the corner because my eye goes over the corner now.
To straighten your eye.
Just squint it over there.
Yeah.
Well, they started, didn't they? There's nobody cooler than kids. Now, as far as school was concerned, I wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer, me. But I love the sport. I used to get sent out just to watch the sport.
Yeah.
I was good at all sports. The thing is, when you used to call you like Milky Bar Kid or Clarence or whatever.
Yeah.
I used to just twat them.
Yeah, like you did.
So the teacher knew all this. So my dad, who was very, very friendly, my mum was an hairdresser. And her opposition hairdresser was a guy, a lady up the road, who was, you probably never heard of the name. His name was Billy Robinson.
He was an Oldham guy, Billy Robinson.
He was from Failsford.
Yeah.
And he had a wrestling gym. So my mum knew his mum. My dad took me down to Billy Robinson's gym to learn Olympic wrestling.
Right.
Well, that's about holds, isn't it? And
that's right.
Well,
I was only 6 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be big-headed now. I loved it.
Yeah.
But it learnt me to keep your temper. And the good thing is, when I was 17, I'd won the British title about 3 times at amateur. We call it straight wrestling, Olympic wrestling.
Yeah.
And I got picked to go in the Munich Olympics. But the thing is, no illusions. British wrestlers compared to the Russians and the Turks, where it's their national sport, we're just way behind.
No.
So, and with the funding in them days, only 3 could go. So they sent the 3 London lads. And we had 7 lads up here, but London lads went.
Yeah, it sounds like par for the course. As a mate of mine was the same as. He got to the stage where he should have been competing for the country. And even when you see him now, the shape of him, he's like Johnny Bravo, like slim hips, and he's there, and he's just designed for it. And he was the same.
That's
he's
how
So what
Robinson
happened with
was.
He's
me,
from Aston.
I just said, right, that's it. I'm not doing the medals.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and go in the pro game because I think it's a load of shit.
Yeah.
So I went in the professional game, and because they had a good teacher, and there wasn't gyms on every street corner there, you either had to be a family member would have to be a wrestler to introduce you. But to get in to be a wrestler, it was an holy grail. You couldn't get in. Not like today when anybody can just turn up at a gym.
No, yeah.
It's about in the backyard.
Everyone with a 6-pack and a set of 9-irons. Yeah, you're right.
But not necessarily that. It was a closed shop.
Mm.
And I thought it was a load of crap. And I tell you what, the first match, I only went watching one of the guys from the gym, and somebody didn't turn up. He says, "You're on tonight." And I was on. And as it happened, I went to Connor's Key, and they switched the bill, and they put me on with somebody who I trained with.
Yeah.
Jack Robinson, who was Billy Robinson's cousin. So we got through. And ever since then, I've never looked back because, hey, the second match, I was on with a guy called Tony Charles. It was one of the first ever to go to America. And he was one of the greatest wrestlers ever. I was in awe to be on with him.
Yeah.
And he had me disappearing up my own arse and coming out again. I didn't even know I'd fucking been there. And then the next one, there was a guy called Abe Ginsberg, who was a booze street fighter. And the first thing he did was chin me.
Yeah.
What, proper?
I went back. He gave me a rough time.
Yeah.
Went back in the changing room, shook me by the hand, and he said, "Welcome on board."
That's what's wrong. It's like football, isn't it? Years ago, the defenders they give an elbow to the wings or a crack and what have you. You know, and those that come past them again, they do that. They were in the element.
Well, the world's gone that way now. You know what I mean?
It's too many cameras. The thing is, I was in America and I was in this resort in Florida and watched the wrestling. It was like the English gentleman was fighting Ravishing Rick Rude or something like that. It was just so staged. It was unbelievable. And I'm just so gutted that I wasn't old enough to appreciate the wrestling that went on at the likes of Bellevue and things like that. When it was blokes grappling, there was a certain amount of showmanship, but
I get that. I totally understand that because I used to go to my grand's, right, in Salford every week, and World of Sport would be on, and you'd see the wrestling, you'd see the grannies in the front row with the handbags and one thing and another. And then, of course, I sort of grew up around Marty and his family and one thing and another, and you get to see one of the bouts, and when he comes off and he's won, and you see the blood pouring off him and out of his hands and out of his face and one thing, and you think, hang on a second.
Do you see the thing
is
out?
Supposed to be staged.
No, but in them days, it wasn't a stage. I mean, nowadays, they have the blood capsules and things like that in their hands.
Listen, get that right out of your fucking head. That doesn't take...
But nowadays,
it
doesn't happen at all.
Does not happen at all. A good top promotion, if you're talking somebody in Alexandra Park having a little pop on a festival, maybe.
Yeah.
But they can't. They're not allowed to do it. And if you're on TV and cameras, that kill our business.
No, I mean the blood capsules. You're just like hit him, and you get
load of shite.
Yeah.
Jimmy Breaks, his nose used to bleed every match because all you had to do was tap it, and if the match wasn't going, he'd say, "Yeah, Jimmy, cut for that." Bang, all over the place. But don't forget, when you're in there, you're like a thoroughbred racehorse.
Yeah, of course, that's it.
You know, you're pumped and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And all I say to people, and you know, Al, I'm not being disrespectful. I respect anybody who puts a pair of boots on. Anybody who wants to put them silly earphones on and have a go on a microphone, good. I can talk all day long. But if you talk about a specific subject, I've got to know what it's about.
Yeah.
All I know is stuff that I've seen.
Yeah.
Now, you might turn around to me and say, who's the most famous person you've shook hands with?
Who's the most famous person you've shook hands with? Me?
Who's yours?
Oh, my goodness.
He's old.
You?
I'm the same, Matt. Yeah.
No, you could turn around and say some pop star or some TV star.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Right? What about you?
Me, most famous, probably the guy from OMD's most famous person. other than Al. I mean, it's not my favourite person, but a guy. Al's my favourite person, but yeah. But like I say, you brush shoulders with lots of people because I'm in that industry out where I'm going to brush shoulders with pop stars and people from the TV.
But what I'm saying to you is, it's funny. The most famous person I've met was in the same room together. Was at the Sumo Palace in Tokyo when I met Muhammad Ali.
Wow. Oh, say what?
You're in a different league.
Now then,
game of top trumps and throw me cards down. You won.
He might have been the most miserable bastard going.
Was he though?
He's the most. No, what happened?
Oh right.
It'd take another week to tell you, but they built Antonio Inoki. He was a wrestler.
Yeah.
In Japan, and he was a god. It was like, let's say, David Beckham's in them days. He was a god. He was running for Parliament. But the thing is, he could shoot wrestle. He could tie you up in knots. He could make you submit. And the mafia in them days were involved. The Tokyo mafia and the American mafia. And they got their heads together. Wrestler versus boxer that they all wanted to see. It was a myth that a boxer wouldn't beat a wrestler. He would if he got a first one in.
Yeah. Listen, I've been cracked off a wrestler, and that was in jest in my kidneys, and it dropped me to my fucking knees. I don't.
Nothing worse than
I don't want to crack on my face off anybody.
But what I'm saying now, none of them were told to lose.
No.
Right.
And within 5 minutes, the mafias, it was being beamed all over the world. It was the biggest flop ever.
Yeah.
By satellite. It went, at the time, it went to the Apollo in Manchester.
Yeah.
And it was on at 3 o'clock in the morning. There was 2 wrestlers and 1 referee in the audience. Nobody else fucking went. But the actual match, they said, our guy's not losing. And he said, we're not losing, so we'll do a draw. So they did 12 3-minute rounds, but with different rules. The boxer couldn't hit the wrestler on the floor.
Right, yeah.
The wrestler could hit him. And he went, right, all right. And all Inoki did is sat on his ass and he kicked his leg.
Yeah.
For 1 hour. And after the match, Inoki just kept kicking him. They'd stand up, he'd throw a few punches, he'd fall down again. It was rotten. It was crap, right?
Yeah.
But Ali had to be rushed to the hospital because he had a thrombosis in his leg.
Ugh.
After being kicked for an hour. It was like...
Horses for courses.
A way of life then.
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
But Alan also knows, I'm not dwelling on the fact, when my wife passed away, I had to look after 2 kids as well. So I had to get back to take them to school or do this and that. So I haven't had it easy.
No, far from it.
When you go on your tours abroad, I mean...
What did you do then, Marty? Because you didn't actually stop wrestling, did you? When Pam sadly passed away, you were still busy working.
Yeah.
So what did you do with the kids and one thing and another? What did you just carry on?
Yeah, family-wise. And also the promoters were pretty kind. They said to me, right, there's a show. I said, listen, I don't want any favours, but they did put me on at a few local places. And he had a very, very good neighbour who was a family friend. And as it happens, it's a weird how things pan out. Her kids used to play with my kids, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then when Pam died, she'd pick them up from school. But I moved over to Hollingworth Lake when Pam was poorly.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I moved back. And then they were getting older then. They could look after themselves. When they went to Crompton House, they'd go back home themselves. And then people and my mum and dad used to call it. It worked out all right. It wasn't ideal, don't get me wrong. But
No.
It just happened to work out. Now, I can honestly say, we've all got the best kids in the world. I've never, ever had the police knock on the door about my kids. My daughter, she went out to Australia playing rugby league for Great Britain. Never been back since.
Yeah.
Who can blame her? It's a good life out there.
Right. And she's built her own house.
Yeah.
She just had a baby. And it's an IVF baby. She's no partner.
No.
All right.
I'm always dealt. Hey,
I didn't know that.
not a lot of people do.
Mm.
Probably get a bollocking for saying it like that.
No, you won't. No, I tell you what. I'm not artist. I tell you what a brave person, what a brave woman she is to do that.
Becky is she's a diamond anyway.
You know, absolutely spot on. And if she has trouble out there, Al's sister lives out there.
Yeah.
The thing is, she built her own house.
Yeah.
Right. And she kept that on and got somebody in to pay a mortgage. So the money she gets from that mortgage, she's built another house. She's got a really good job. She's on maternity leave now. And the baby, I'm not joking, not because it's my grandson.
Oh yeah, because you're not biased, are you?
Yeah, not in the slightest.
No.
Is it a W?
Not that. How can I explain that the kid? I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah.
He's 7 months old, and he's in 12-month-old clothes.
Hey,
he's going to be a wrestler. He's going to be a
massive.
granddad.
And my biggest problem is, and it keeps eating away at me. Last year I went to Australia. I used my napper a little bit. I got 6 or 7 promoters, and they all wanted me to go over to do wrestling seminars. So they all chipped in and paid my fare over there.
Right. So listen, when lockdown's done, right?
That's it.
We'll get our heads together.
Yeah.
And me and you will go together, right? I'll carry your bags.
We'd have to get bigger seats, wouldn't we? But
what
anyway,
I'm trying to say is, the doors.
But what I'm trying to say is, she's doing everything on her own.
Yeah. So she's doing the same as what her dad's done.
And the mother, because don't forget, her mother, she went on the cruise ship.
Yeah.
Right now, my son he was one of the youngest site managers. He's doing well for himself. So I'm just sat here. I live on my own. Phone them up. How are you doing? Right. Okay, bye. If they want out, I'm here. I'm the same with them.
Yeah.
But that bounces off because as kids, they had it hard. And I always think it comes back to, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't suggest they had it hard. I think they had a good upbringing, you know. And I say that with the greatest of respect.
Yeah.
You know,
I know what you're saying there.
They went through an awful lot.
Yeah.
I totally. Where's he gone?
It's all right. Go on.
He's open. Hey, he's doing the important things in life. Opening it in. Hey, he's on bodies. You know, Hyde's Brewery make that now.
The cream of Manchester.
They don't make that. I
can't drink anything else apart from them cans.
What?
It's got a widget in it.
Down your throat? Is that what it is?
No, it's got a widget in it. You can't drink one of them tins down your throat. It's all gassy.
Yeah.
It's like the old bodies.
I get that.
But I have to drink whiskey and coke before I go to bed to sleep.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm in so much pain, you know, with my legs.
Right. And is that down to the wrestling or?
Oh, yeah. Alan knows. I don't want to dwell on the fact, but when people say wrestling's all fixed, it fucking makes me blood boil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure, I'm not being funny. Say, I saw it in America, and these blokes, I mean, ravishing rude. I mean, I'm 6'2", and I'm 22 stone. I'm just over 20 now, but I'm 22 stone. But ravishing, he made me look like a dwarf, right? And I could see it, and I seen him fight. Well, fight in inverted commas, but they throw themselves around, and I get it, you know. And the thing is I fell over and been bad for days, but to that night in, night out, and you can get up and do it. It's not easy. It's just not easy.
Yeah, but don't forget
that was on top of the actual physical.
Yeah, when I started, I was 6-year-old.
I know.
Doing amateur wrestling.
Yeah, and what you're 47
I'm 67 now. So for 61 years. The day I packed in wrestling type of thing.
Yeah.
Alan will tell you, I've had 3 new knees on one leg, and I've had an ankle fusion on the other one. And the reason why I'm red-faced at the moment, we're diverting a little bit, but I went for this special treatment because it was really pissing me off, a lot of pain. And you know what they've done? I've had 14 screws in my ankle. And underneath my feet, it's like razor blades going on my feet because all my nerves have gone. And it's, honest to God, horrendous. Last week, I went down to the pain management clinic. I thought, I'll give it a go. And you know them waxing pads where you take hairs off your chest? Or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, they've got some of them, and it's impregnated with red chili peppers.
I've heard about this.
I've heard about this.
And I said to myself, are you a witch doctor or something?
It's not, but you see, the thing is, the world's full of great science, isn't it?
Hey, but listen
just
to
find
this.
out how to put. I'm listening.
Oh, just listen to this. Go ahead with it. So I went, they scrubbed my leg, right? They put this on and they said, don't, and they put the sock back on. Don't touch that sock. Don't touch your eyes.
Yeah.
And don't go to the toilet.
Yeah. Until you wash your hands.
I said to him, it's not working, this. It's a load of bollocks. You know, the night time.
Yeah.
It kicked in, and it's still kicking in. That's why my face is red.
And it's the chili.
For 2 days, I've been, oh, Jesus Christ. You know what I had to do? You know what I had to do last night?
You get a cold bath.
I took the bottom drawer
out
of my fridge freezer, sat on the kitchen floor, and put my foot in the freezer.
To cool it down.
I'm telling you, Alan, it was fucking... I was going to phone A&E, you tell the skin's coming off. This morning, I haven't slept, but I got up, and I tell you something, it feels a lot better.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, we're going to round it up anyway. Because we got some editing to do on this one. But Marty Jones, from the bottom of our heart, thank you very much for joining us. Great luck for the future. Hope your ankles mend. And the gym, wow. If people actually wanted to get in touch and come and do a little bit with you, how can they do that?
Just leave it till the pandemic finishes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to do a big launching party because we was going to do it with the newspapers a month ago.
Yeah.
But they'll have forgot all about it. So I went through up and running. You know, a favour deserves a favour. So that's why I want to come to you and plug it.
Yeah.
And it's not just for us. Kids, when you see the faces, kids, they've got to be at least 12-year-old type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When
they step into a full-size wrestling ring,
and
run the ropes,
puts a smile on your face, doesn't it?
It does,
and
yeah.
It makes everything worthwhile.
It's like a realisation, isn't it?
But all them that are getting bullied at school, get them to come down to the wrestling, just like we was.
Yeah.
And it teaches them respect as well.
Of course.
Thank you, yes sir, no sir, and all that. It's good.
Yeah.
Hey,
Bullies and bullied alike. Marty,
if you ever want to do anything again, just let us know, okay?
We'll do,
absolutely. If you want us to come down and help you out with that gym, all you got to do is ask.
Right, but
look at him. I know exactly what's going through his head. Look at him. He's fucking evil.
He wants to throw you around the ring, Al. I can see
exactly.
that.
I'll give him a fucking pile driver.
I'll bring the people's chair.
Finger up the arse. That's really pile driver. All right, take care, lads.
Bless your cotton socks.
Take care,
very much.
Hey, good,
listen,
mate.
Get rid of that city scar.
Yeah.
Hey, never.
All right, mate.